So now that we've had a pretty huge 2017 with 2 major Sonic games coming out as well as 2 minor Sonic games coming out, the question on everyone's mind is, when are we going to get info on the next Sonic game? Now I know that Forces just came out like 2 months ago, but since a lot of people weren't in love with the game and we're still hoping for another great 3D Sonic game, people are more in a hurry to find out what's next instead of just bathing in what we've already got. So I'm gonna take an educated guess on when we might see info on the next major Sonic game. Now first of all, to know when we're gonna get news on the next major Sonic game, we kinda have to know when the next Sonic game is gonna release. Now we can't know that for sure, but I think there's 3 major points to consider when determining when the next major Sonic game may come out. The first thing is the movie. Now we know the movie is coming out in 2019, even though it's been delayed like a gajillion times, but as of now the movie is set to come out in 2019. Now Sonic Forces was actually supposed to come out in tandem with the movie in 2017 according to the movie rumors that I covered in that previous video, but since the movie had to get pushed back, they ended up releasing Sonic Forces in 2017. So is it possible that they would get a new game out for 2019 so that this game can then be in tandem with the movie? Who knows? And if so, does that mean we'll hear info about the new game in early 2019 so that they'll keep feeding us info until E3 2019 and then beyond, with maybe like a hint somewhere this year to say that they are working on a new game? I don't know. But that kind of brings me to the second point, which is the 30th anniversary. Now the 30th anniversary is in 2021, which is 3 years from now. So a big question is, are they gonna hold out to 2021 so that the next modern Sonic game comes out 4 years after Sonic Forces? Or are they gonna do the 2-year cycle and then, as I said before, drop the game in 2019? It honestly depends on what they're trying to go for. I mean, I honestly think they should do the 4 years, but based on Forces, which took 4 years, it's clearly not an indicator of whether the game is gonna be great or not, because Generations was in development for like 2 years and it's still way better than Forces and arguably longer as well. And before someone goes, but Sonic Forces had to create the Hedgehog engine too and that's why it took 4 years, remember that Sonic Unleashed created the original Hedgehog engine and the game still took 2 years to develop. Not to mention the fact that Sonic Unleashed is a much longer game than Sonic Forces and a better looking game overall. So if they're gonna take 4 years on this game, I need to feel like a huge amount of effort has been put into it. Unleashed just felt like such a grand game. The whole experience just screamed effort and attention to detail, whether you like the game or not. And that was done in 2 years. So for a 4-year Sonic game, I expect no shorter than 6 hours of gameplay. Whether it's multiple playable characters or just one character, it needs to feel like a big experience. It's Sonic's 30th anniversary. But that being said, a game like Unleashed proves that you don't need 4 years to make a big Sonic experience. It can be done in 2, but at the same time, if they use the time wisely and go all out for the 30th anniversary, then I feel they should go for the 4-year cycle. But that doesn't mean that they will. I mean, Heroes came out 2 years after the 10th anniversary game, Unleashed came out 2 years after the 15th anniversary game, Lost World came out 2 years after the 20th anniversary game. So it is possible that we'll see a game 2 years after the 25th anniversary game, even though Forces pretty much came out a year late, which would mean 2019 would be the year, leaving them another 2 years to develop the 30th anniversary game in 2021. Now, even though I said there's a great chance that they'll go with the 2-year cycle and release the game in 2019, there is still a possibility that they'll go with the 4-year cycle and release the game in 2021. And that's because of my third point, which is a potential Sonic Mania sequel. Now, if we do get a Sonic Mania 2 or another game inspired by Mania but fully original, then based on previous data, I guess Mania 2 would come out before the modern Sonic game, in which case a 4-year cycle for the modern Sonic game would make sense, because if that game comes out in 2021, then the Mania game could come out in say 2020 or 2019, giving them room to breathe and having there be no major drought of Sonic content for a while, in which case we wouldn't really be hearing any modern Sonic news until say 2020, a year before the 30th anniversary, which is a good 2 years from now. But then that would mean that if there's a Mania sequel in 2020 or 2019, that we could be getting news on that sequel either this year or next year. In that case, the news drought wouldn't be too long. So just to recap, if the next main series game is dropping in 2019, then we could be getting news as early as this year, but if it's dropping in 2021, we might not be getting news until 2020 or maybe late 2019. But if it's dropping in 2021 and there's a Mania sequel coming before that in say 2020 or 2019, then we may still get some form of news this year, but most likely in 2019 at the earliest. But let me know what you guys think about this speculation. When do you think we're going to see Sonic news? And are you looking forward to Sonic news? Honestly, if we are going to be waiting 4 years for the next game, then they gotta focus on ports. I expect to see the GameCube trilogy of Sonic games ported to the Switch Virtual Console once that gets released. I expect to see the classic games ported to the Switch, even the advanced games. And 2018 is the 10-year anniversary of Sonic Unleashed, so it's about time that we get an actual PC port of the game, as well as a Steam port of Heroes. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this situation, but that's all I have to say right now, so Remy out.